Welcome back, Roscoe. I think you're the number one reoccurring guy. It's the only thing we can get you for.
Yeah, dude.
Doesn't come to events. Doesn't ride snowmobiles.
Whoa. And I just come in the spring. Yep.
I like how you didn't back that up.
No.
Whoa.
Yeah.
You're right.
Whoa.
After he's done with everything else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're at the bottom of the priority list. See how it is.
Yikes.
Anyway.
Dude, it's a long ways around the globe these days.
Yeah. How the heck was your winter? I think we were just talking off camera that we should probably not talk about dirt bikes the whole time on a kind of a snowmobile podcast.
Yeah, because we're dog shit at riding dirt bikes.
Yeah. We'll get into that because we had a heck of a weekend. But let's start with snowmobiles first. And we're in the same boat here. Tristan and I just talked about it last week of how gnarly of a season it was in not a good way.
No, it sucked.
It was chasing snow, not intentionally chasing rain, but following rain, spring, winter, back and forth all season long. How did that play out in the life of Roscoe?
It was probably the hardest winter we've ever had, as far as because we had a project lined up, which is puts the pressure on you when you don't have when you don't have steady projects or you don't have freedom in what you're going to create. Then you can play off the weather and stuff more and make other things happen. But when you have certain things you're trying to accomplish and deliver, then it makes it really hard. In January, we changed our schedule like 5 times, and it was like, okay, let's go do something in my neck of the woods. Oh, it's raining. Let's go to BC. Oh, no snow. Let's wait a week. We'll go to BC. A storm's coming in. Oh, it rained. Okay, what about Idaho? No snow. Wyoming, no snow. And then, all of a sudden it's February. And for me, February is like the busiest month.
You got sled releases.
For stuff that honestly doesn't really matter as much as the riding. And you, on a good winter, you can bookend everything and okay, you get hopefully you get something in December, good January, get a few things in February, and then take care of all that February business and then have a good March. Well, nothing showed up before February.
Yeah.
So then it makes it even more stressful to try to stack things.
And you were trying to do a 3-part series that was not it was a webisode, but it wasn't nearly as running gun as what we've been doing, right? You're trying to tell a story within this, so it wasn't let's go knock this out in 2-3 days and carry on. You guys wanted the stars to align, get the right opportunities, the right weather, right snow conditions to tell these stories efficiently, and this was a rough season for that.
It was so tough. And what's funny is I've done this before. I've put projects together where I've kind of gotten bitten by weather and circumstances. So this year I had ideas for 10 episodes. And even having ideas and locations for 10 episodes with the goal of if it's not good here, it's going to be good somewhere else. We can pivot. And we couldn't pivot. So it was crazy that we got our first 2 out. The third one is pretty much done. And then we are going to, to take care of the people that supported the project, 509 being one of them. Then this fall, we're going to remaster everything and package it into something potentially that's a longer format video.
Yeah.
All said and done, how far off was the final outcome from what you were hoping for?
Well, we initially wanted to do 6 episodes.
Yeah.
And we couldn't get enough budget for 6, especially because Cam, who's doing it, he is very good at his job, so he's not cheap. So we didn't get enough budget for 6, so we decided to do 3. And we got 3 done, but it just sucks when you're filming the 3rd episode in April and everybody's out. We all know that you can look at social metrics alone, that as soon as the end of March rolls around, they start diving. People are transitioning seasons and everything. So the goal would have been to have one January, February, March, and now we're end of February, March, and now we're into May for this 3rd one. So
yeah. Yeah, the viewership or the fan base is primarily Midwest, East Coast. Mm-hmm. We make up a sliver in the West. Granted, everybody feels like it's so much bigger than it is because it's a cool thing to look at.
Yeah.
But the Midwest, East Coast, those guys saw the grass most of the winter, and their spring transition was like February.
Yeah, so they were checked out very early.
Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah. The good news with the whole thing is that the views were okay, but the feedback in the comment sections and the engagement was really good. Like that's what was cool to see. Everybody was really, really excited on what we did. And that was the goal with the whole thing is Cam and I put a lot of time into what are we going to do? How are we going to do it different? And like kind of put a different spin on it. Not really even a different spin, but just pull inspiration from other industries and try to kind of put some sort of culture back together. I think these other action sports industries do way better than the snowmobile industry does as far as culture does. And I wish that the OEs and everybody that is industry-wide, these brands and everything would champion the riders more. And instead of like me riding for a company and I promote the company, there's an equal amount of promotion from the company back, because if the companies support the riders, then you build a rider and then the rider builds you, and it's this back and forth. Mm-hmm. And sometimes you just don't see that.
I loved how raw it was too. I mean, you and I, you more so, watch a lot of ski, snowboard, mountain bike films, but I try to at least once a year keep up on like what the new heavy hitter videos are, just to you got to pull from outside of our industry. Nothing against anybody in the industry, but there's not much inspiration out there.
No.
Like there's a handful of people making consistent sled videos, and most of them are just YouTubers. Like Kasturkey does a great job, Muskoka, but they're just day in the life kind of, click upload.
Yeah.
And not docking on them, but as far as the creative side goes, it's hard to grab anything without.
What do you guys think the best industry is for that? You think it's snowboard or like mountain bike?
I would say right now it's mountain bike. Snowboard and ski is also really good, but as far as mountain bike has some advantages as well, just access and 12 months a year they can shoot and do these things, which is really cool. But like if you're a mountain bike fan, Semenuk, he said that you used to be able to make like 2 gangster edits and like build a career off of it, and now you can't do that. So even all of those industries, you still cannot do that. But yeah, I think it's like not docking on what anybody else does. I just don't want to do it that way. I want to do it differently. And I think there, in a perfect world, there's a place for all of it. But it's definitely a challenge to create something at a really high level that's story driven, also raw. If you talk to people, I mean, I've heard somebody told me one time, he's like, "What's up with all these you US guys? You're all like media trained." Because we sound like we are. And I think the longer you're in certain industries and things, especially when you, in our industry, you have to really go after partnerships and you have to really like push. Nobody's coming up to me and like, here's a check. Like, we love what you do. Go be you. It's like, you have to go after them. So then you're so stressed about like getting the support and stuff that you need that sometimes you dumb down who you actually are and don't show as much personality in fear of saying something wrong or doing something wrong. And then the flip side of that is when you look at the biggest creators in the world, they're exactly who they are, and they're not perfect, but that's what people want. So that is I hope in the next few years we see that transition throughout everyone of like, we want to sell the personality. Yeah.
Do you think the OEs, I hear so many people say like a launch video, for example, there's like a handful of dealers that watch it. It goes on YouTube. They put X amount of hundreds of thousands of dollars into this for this 2-minute launch video that gets 15,000 views on YouTube. When you could spend that money and disperse it across your roster of riders, like, a Turcotte, a Muskoka, Caleb, all these guys, yourself, and do this like personality twist on a sled launch, But I think they have such a limited window to sell product that they have to like check the boxes, because there are those guys that all they want to know about is the tech specs and what's new, and they want to see it in action for 5 minutes and learn every single little 3D rendered detail of what's new in the rear skid, what's new here, what's new there. So they dump everything into that because you have a 4-month window to ride these things, and they got to move them out the door in order to make new ones next year. That's like where their focal point is, more than giving more back to the riders to utilize the platform to sell machines. Or I know it's kind of a weird, I'm kind of rambling on it, but you know what I'm trying to paint the picture of.
Yeah, it's definitely a relationship thing between the high level riders in the industry and the big players like the 509s and the OEs and the companies that do have resources. So you have to like have that, the relationship has to be right too, of them having the real conversations, because you can have conversations of like, oh yeah, this and that is bad or good, but then does anybody actually having the like, hey, we should do this, and also like here's why, and really kind of laying it out. And so many of us have been in the industry a long time. I mean, I have no formal marketing degree or anything, but I feel like I know the customer pretty good.
Well, here, look at like the dirt bike world, for example. I have never watched a dirt bike OEM launch video. Never.
No.
You almost become brainwashed into who your favorite riders are, their style of riding, from whether it's supercross, hard enduro, arena cross, whatever it is, and see what type of bike they're on. And then you kind of dive into your own, look up the pros and cons of each, and go buy one.
Yep.
It's never, they have such a roster of authentic people that are top tier guys, the best in the world, that just sells bikes for them.
Yeah, that is a huge part of it. Definitely still need the OE shoots though, like for playing at the dealerships and that kind of thing, and all their paid ads and stuff. But I would say I bought my bike from the KTM family because I know that they run the enduro. Like that's their market, and they're the leader for sure.
Yeah. I mean, I ride a Husky because Billy Bolt's like
exactly.
the sickest dog out there.
Exactly.
He's
I
so
just
cool.
run a gas because I wanted to save a few grand. Like that's all it boiled down to.
I like the color of it.
Yeah.
And I think too, as far as like,
but hold on, wait, prime full circle thing. I'm like close to getting a KTM now after watching that 30-minute thing on Manny on the perfect season of the World Hard Enduro, which was not even about the bikes. It's posted by KTM, but that story is the exact type of story you're talking about that moves units out the door and is relatable.
Yep.
I watched that. I'm like, I need a KTM now. Not once did they talk about the all-new chassis 300 was really what helped me, elevate my ride. It was nothing. It was just persistence and just a gnarly athlete.
Yeah, that was sweet.
And that was directly on an OEM channel.
Yep.
Like that is sick.
And it gives you that personality too. I mean, so KTM posts it, Manny gets more fans. So when Manny has more fans, more eyes are on KTM's bike. They see orange, are going to see orange way more. So yeah, finding those guys that you can build around and really like fostering a great relationship and supporting them is something that I would like to see more of. And instead of, a lot of times the snowmobile industry does it in numbers instead of, so there's a ton of ambassadors for all these different brands. And then it kind of gets muddy on like who are the guys that can hopefully move the needle or have the means and the desire to go create something significant and special.
Yeah. I think the window of opportunity too plays such a big role though. We're not 12 months out of the year. You have this small quarter of the year to check all these boxes with dealers, with, supply and demand, and move these units out the door. That their number one focus is, here's tech videos. Here's everything a dealer needs to know to get these things off the showroom floor and not be paying monthly on them. Here's, it's like, it's just a never-ending vicious cycle scrambling to get units out the door where they're just checking off the boxes they've been doing for the last 10 years. And there's never really the time for that creative outlet, like idea to expand more than just BSing about it.
Yeah. I would also love to see more influence from the top riders in the dealerships as far as especially with how quickly snowmobiles have evolved. So at these, the big meetings, presentations where all the information that the dealers get, it's like the sales guy who doesn't really ride or rides a few times a year, he doesn't understand why the snowmobile is a 34-inch front end. He knows it's like, oh, it's better for, it tips over easier. It does this, it does that. But it's, the OE and the top riders are the ones that are like, this is why it's going this direction. This is who it's for. This is how it should be set up. So then if we can get that in the sales force, you can actually sell the right product to the people. Because you go into a lot of dealerships, doesn't matter the brand, whatever, and the snowmobile is not set up right. The bars are all jacked up, all this stuff. And then you get a guy who's never ridden, get on the wrong snowmobile. He thinks he needs this. He really needs that. And maybe there's some sort of media or literature that isn't the sales guy saying this is what you need. It's like, if you're unsure, watch this video that we've put together with our top guys.
I fight those internal battles. You go to the dealer, you look at the sleds on the floor. The skis are set into the narrowest. The levers are straight out. The bars are past parallel with the post. It's like, oh, this is not how this should be set up for the guy that's going to purchase this. And this is his first snowmobile ever.
It's just creating bad habits right off the start in a sport where you can't have that.
Yeah.
Especially for us BRP boys, the Skidoo and Lynx, with our laid down steering post, then it's so bad. If you click that thing up at all beyond level, you just can't ride the thing. Yeah. And guys don't know that until somebody is like right there with them and you get through to them, like, you have to change this. And that's other, like the handlebar thing, all these things. I can't believe we're still talking about handlebars. Good Lord, it's been 10 years. I mean, I was like 16 and Chris Brandt is like low bars, low bars, low bars. 12 years later, you still see him up there. They're like, oh, better for me on the trail. I'm like, not a trail sled, Larry.
Mine keep getting lower every year. I'm like, oh, this feels good. And then I find another option. I'm like, oh, this is better.
Yep.
I'm down to like a 2.5-inch bar.
Same.
A couple more years, you'll be scraping your knuckles on the console.
I know. I cannot put a handlebar bag on my snowmobile anymore. My bars are so low.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you are in control.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. It's but I don't think that's only in the snowmobile world. We've all learned that as we get into the moto world.
I look at it right now. We had a whole debate this weekend on where the hell our bars should be. Yeah. We were out there measuring handlebars. I thought for sure the bars in this other bike were narrower, and they're the exact same width as mine, but they had a little different bend, a little different pullback, all this stuff, and I don't even know where to start on that.
Yeah.
Nor do I really know where to look for the information besides YouTubing proper dirt bike handlebar setup, like at square one.
And then you have to sift through the
Supercross,
the 50 YouTube videos, and you're like, wait, is this guy a Jerry? Does he know anything?
And the different disciplines of riding. Yeah.
And then you see like I saw a Chris Birch video, and I'm like, oh, let's see what Chris Birch has to say. Yeah. He is a legend and knows what he's talking about. So you have to like find the right video because somebody out there's like, this is how you set up your handlebars. And, you want to get your information from the right people. But with the other thing that I'm really curious about and interested is what we also don't do in our industry, especially in the race side of things. There's no stories as far as like, let's take Rimshaw, for example. We know Keith is Keith. We know that, you have the Thomases, Sam is just like killing it. Jay and Blaine, like you have these top guys. But for example, in a lot of the other things, especially like mainstream sports, there's full on talk shows about every day of the week about the sport and just like what's going on outside of the actual race day weekend. And that became so apparent to me. I didn't go to Jackson, but I live streamed it on my YouTube channel. Keith didn't make 9 mod on Saturday, which is insane.
Unheard of.
Nobody has any idea that Keith's even on a 9 mod run or what's going on. And I'm taking notes. I got everything. I'm like writing splits down, and I'm like, holy shit, Keith didn't make 9 mod. Yeah. This is like a huge story, and was probably the difference between him winning King and Kings and not, because he would have had another not mod run on Sunday.
Yeah,
could have probably won that class, and then had another shot at Justin last day.
Then in his King run, he had to run his improver sled because he didn't make
Yeah.
9 mod.
And Justin only beat him by a second.
Yeah, on his 9 mod.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So and Justin was riding out of his mind.
Yeah.
But same thing, nobody's talking about that Justin was the fastest every day on the mod by quite a bit too. So like I would love to see that, because then we have store, we have rivalries, we have battles, we have all of this stuff going on, and people are like more and more invested.
If anybody's listening and you know any of the guys at Sky Pixels Media, poke them and poke Rimshaw Circuit to come to an agreement here and make. First of all, go watch last year's U.S. Hard Enduro recap videos. Incredible. We've said it before.
They're so good.
They got the personalities. They got the rivalries. They kept you up to speed. Max Gerstead chasing on a bike, doing real-time reporting, getting you a feel for the pace they're racing at. Everything. Just made the average viewer understand how gnarly Hard Enduro was. On a insane course, Rimshaw, closed course, you can see the whole course from top to bottom.
Yep.
For capturing it correctly,
very easy
with a team that's dedicated just to that and to tell those stories. We could do the exact same thing in this sport, just dollar signs. It all boils down to dollar signs.
And nowadays, Jackson, I think, is probably one of the coolest things in the snowmobile industry, because we don't really have much X Games anymore, you know. We can't.
Yeah.
That used to be it, I think. I mean, on a personal preference, but Jackson, when you're standing on the hill and those, you know, $100,000 snowmobiles are ripping up at Mach 90 past you, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like Supercross does a great job. Science of Supercross.
Yep.
Here's the you know, the average, because the goal is to get more people into the sport, right? So how do we have to create interest beyond a live stream of somebody going up a hill fast. You got to like have the new consumer or somebody who's in a different industry interested in it, and like how can we grasp them? Well, a lot of guys in the power sports world understand horsepower, and when you're talking 220 horsepower mods that are doing 90 miles an hour in the bottom, all right, now we're talking. Let's talk about that.
I've never heard anybody say they weren't impressed going to a Rimshaw race.
Yeah.
Here's really what seals that for me is Jackson is historically a very, very, I don't want to say snobby, but a bit ski town.
It's
right?
the wealthiest county in the U.S.
There's a bit of a feud between motorized and non-motorized. And I've been on that gondola with skiers, snowboarders that are riding that hill that day as the race is going on, and they are like, this is sick. Yeah. And for guys that have zero interest in that, potentially might be voting for non-motorized areas in the backcountry and on the lift with you and are like, this is rad. That just shows me you get the right production behind it and push it out to a grander audience, that I think you get so many new fans that knew nothing about or cared anything about snowmobiling and would tune into it. And
right. And I think a little bit of that is they also use snowmobiles just in a different way, and for them to see them being
to
ridden
their full potential
in a totally different way and aspect, it's a bit of an eye-opener for them.
Yeah.
It's not something that they, you know, see every day.
Investors, possibly you.
Yep. Who needs Roscoe in the broadcast booth?
Ross and I have been talking about that for years, just having a couch set up like between the finish line and the second cat track.
Yep.
And a live stream booth.
Yep.
We just sit there for 4 days.
Yeah. Well, I think a really good comparison from Jackson to another event is Rampage.
Yeah.
So Red Bull Rampage is there's 20 guys in the world that can even relate to what they're doing. And then the people that watch it and see it and notice it is so vast beyond mountain bikers, because it's so gnarly. And like, we just don't capture Jackson that way. They capture Rampage properly.
Yeah. They do these great cutaways of building the course.
Yep.
The logistics behind it.
Yep.
The test hits that go horribly wrong.
Yep.
So-and-so couldn't barely clear this gap, and now this guy flipped that same gap in competition.
Yep.
Like, there's a really cool build up there to really amplify how gnarly this terrain is.
Yeah. Yeah, no, there's a lot of opportunity out there. So just gotta get creative and attack it.
How sick would a cable cam be all the way up Jackson?
Oh
yeah.
Man, that'd be sweet.
Yep.
Yeah.
Chase cam, all that stuff. Live timing, live splits, and
Splits would be awesome.
Really cool.
That would amplify how tight the racing is.
Yeah. Especially, and then like who's fast in the bottom and who's fast in the top, because it's two different beasts. As soon as you get halfway up that hill, the whole race changes. So you got to be good everywhere. And I've timed it myself, and I've been like, oh, Keith is typically very, very fast in the bottom when it comes to Sunday, and that gives him so much cushion up top that people are like, he's so smooth. It's like, yeah, he also isn't. He's not like riding the knife edge like some of the other guys are like, I have to hold this thing pinned or wad it to catch Keith. Keith can, ride it a lot smoother.
I did catch Justin saying that at the top this year. He goes, that was the point where he's like, I was kind of holding on.
Yeah.
He's like, that sled, I was just along for the ride.
Yeah.
He's like, I was scared on that run.
Yeah. And I think too, the other thing too is I've been in the industry a long time. I liked Jackson. Then I started to go to Jackson, and that changed my whole thing because I was there. Mm-hmm. And then now I'll watch it on the live stream, and I understand it. And, I'll watch the other Rimshaws on their live streams and stuff. And yeah.
Man, what a hot reoccurring topic we've had here.
Yeah.
There's a lot of room for improvement at Jackson. Yeah.
We're not
really, or all of Rimshaw.
We're such hypocrites. We're not doing anything about it. You know what? I'll get Ross. Ross has done a little bit doing his live stream.
I've lit the social media on fire last year for sure.
Yeah, we both did.
Yeah.
I started tagging
we're over here just like trying to make a media class because we want to race and not film it.
No, don't get me wrong. I don't want to race it. I just want to commentate from the bottom and interview the boys.
If there was a true media class and we were in it and all the other filmers, you would want to race it.
Yeah, but they wouldn't let me race the media class.
Why not?
Because I'm a pro that turned media guy. I went the other way.
We make an exception.
Yeah,
I don't know.
You have to.
If I could, I'd rather race you guys than those psychos.
Fair.
You can race it, but you have to have a full camera bag on your back.
Oh,
we don't.
Okay.
You don't. It's not a bucket list item. It's on my bucket list. Like, I feel 25 years from now, if I didn't at least poke it once, I'd regret it. Jackson.
No, for sure. The tough part is the prep and the work and the sled mods and everything to get it there.
I'm talking as rough as you can do it.
Yeah.
Let's cut a track, put some screws in it, throw a flap on it, and hope for the best.
Well, my whole thing is that I would have to go there and I'd have to take an invite. They'd have to give me an invite, which I think I could get, and then I would have to race pro, or I'd have no friends left at the end of the weekend. They'd be like, you're an idiot. So then I have to race pro. So then I got to build a mod that's like fast, or I got to build a turbo that works. And I'm just like, oh no. And I don't know too. I just like to give those guys their flowers there, because it's gnarly. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So
fair.
Yeah. I don't know if I could hold on. I'd have arm pumps so bad in the first corner that.
Yeah, I think the bottom section sometimes is the sleeper. Like that can get away from you.
Yeah.
More than the top. I see more guys go down after the start than the top half.
Yeah, you see more, injuries and stuff.
Or slams go. Guys will get stuck and get, sled going downhill up at the top. But the bottom, you're moving.
You're dangling at 80 miles an hour around those corners. If you high side it, you're going for a ride.
Yeah. Okay, maybe I don't want to run it.
Yeah, I'm out.
Dirt bikes?
We did do that. Mm-hmm. You did do that. I didn't do it.
I kind of didn't either.
I did it.
Ross did it, and he did it to his full potential.
We had a dirt bike race this weekend, second one of the year, up north near the Canadian border. Mountain Moto Co. puts it on, called Enduro Jam. 3 days of Dust Bowl-like conditions. Good course. Very dusty. And I think everything that went south could have where it happened.
There was a lot.
As far as bikes go, we were hard on.
We were down
machines.
A guy too. Jay didn't show up.
Yeah, Jay sucks.
Jay Manaberry bailed
on us. Jay, Jay, if you're listening, you're going to pay for that in a month. I'll tell you what.
Yep.
Yeah, Silver
I'm
Mountain.
going to be slapping you around on Silver Mountain, dude. Because for me, every time I race, like this one especially is like, it shows you, okay, this is where I am. This is where I need to be, especially when the cool part about this race, very small race, but there was pros that are going to do really well at silver in pro class.
Keith Curtis was racing this race this
Keith
weekend.
and
Sam
Hager,
Peterson and Colton Haker.
Yeah. And then some of those young kids are weapons.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're going to all be battling pro. So you can see, that's the pro level. And there were some A kids there too that are going to be battling in A class for, top positions. So it's good to like compare and see where you're at and know what you need to do. So yeah, go back to work.
Where'd we start? Prologue Friday. There's jumps in the course, which is stupid. And
Jay, you're David. Hey, he's like, I'm rolling the jump.
I did.
It was literally, and they were second gear jumps.
But then I watched you, which was not a confidence booster, go on your first lap and like Bonaire one, Bonaire the second, but sideways. And I'm like, I don't know if he's bringing that one back. And you disappear, and I'd see you pop up again.
Heck yeah, dude. I was ripping. I got him dialed towards the end.
The hardest part about that was the beginners went first, and there was a kid on a KX85, and he was sending the jumps.
As he should be.
Yeah.
That was funny.
The kid chirped me too.
Yeah.
Yep.
I got stuck in this rock garden and hit neutral, and this kid, this like 12-year-old kid on his bike sitting there watching yells at me and goes, "Don't stop there, keep going."
He's like, "You can catch him. Good, keep going. What are you doing?"
I don't think we'll be able to hear it in the video, but I have it on film, and I turned the camera towards Ross. I'm like, did David just get roasted?
I thought the kid was hazing you from the side.
I heard him so clear because my bike died at that point.
He talking shit?
I think that kid's hazing David on the course.
I wanted to throw a stick in his wheel on the next lap.
Yeah. No, it's really fun. And my whole thing is, I've told you guys this before, but there's a lot of people that live for their sport, and it probably to my demise, as far as being really good at one or two things, is I like them all equally, and that makes me transition into other things quicker. So like me, I have no interest in riding my snowmobile in May because I just rode POW and I'm happy, and I don't want to go ride, maybe get one or two spring days and then I'm good. But like, I'm not going to go build jumps and battle all May when I could just go get on my moto and my mountain bike and then start that. So that's kind of like an interesting thing, is because everybody, of course, with me, they want to talk sleds. But it's like, I got other interests. I love these other things so much. I think they help each other, right? Like you get style and stuff, but as far as just like progression and hard skills go, those like extra reps definitely help. And I'm like, I'm going to ride my motorcycle.
I feel attacked.
You and many others.
I love my snowmobile.
Yeah.
You guys know. I'm not even going to talk about it.
Yeah.
I had 12 months out of the year if I could. I would pick riding a snowmobile over my dirt bike every single time if it was an easy option. If it was like they were both in the truck in the same spot, if I could go right, I could ride my dirt bike. I could go left, I could ride my snowmobile. I'd go left every single time.
Yeah.
Since I moved up here, David's asked me to go sledding twice, and it's been like a prime day to go dirt bike. I'm like, do we really want to go sledding?
Yeah, because you can ride dirt bikes all summer. You can't ride snowmobiles all summer, so get it while you can.
Yeah.
True. Yeah, no, that's a great point too. Yeah. I also think I've been in it for a long time, and one of my favorite quotes is, "Don't live the same year 80 times in a row and call it a life." So it's like, I want to, try some other things, do some other things, and but also not like lose my edge.
That's just where your guys' happy place is.
Yeah.
Mine is Forever Sleds. And I'm thankful I've never lost that drive and a passion. Straight up addiction for it. Because otherwise I would be looking for another job.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with being that way. It's good to be that way.
And I just more so joking, just like being smart asses to you guys. Because I know you love riding don't get me wrong, I love riding dirt bikes. But I love when we're riding dirt bikes, I look up and I see a bowl 3,000 feet ahead of us with great snowpack, and I'm like, oh man, that looks way more fun right now. Yeah. And just fires you guys up.
It was probably the 6 years of 150 days in a row. BBA, riding 24 inches of sugar. just destroying snowmobiles. I'm just like, what the heck am I doing every day?
Pulling skis to guys that can't breathe.
Yeah, exactly. It's also a progression thing too. As you get better at something, it's harder for you to progress. That's what's cool is like when you start doing something, you progress so fast. Like every day you're leveling up, and then you get to this point where you're like, it becomes really hard to get better because you're going from hard to extreme, and then you have to really, when you got to put a lot of time in and be really good. And
the reality of where you're at on a sled is like the next step is either you're just flipping everything. Yeah. Because you have like all the, not even fundamentals, all the technical maneuvers pretty dialed.
Yeah.
You're an extremely well-rounded rider. There's still stuff to learn and, to amplify on every
and just
single
get
time.
better. Yeah.
But it's all, muscle memory and second nature at this point. Yeah. So to really, really push it becomes a massive commitment and just amplifies a danger level too.
Yeah.
And it's at a certain point, like you still blow people's minds every single time you get on a sled, and it's not worth it to push it anymore for your own health. And
I think he's that way because he has so much style. Like if you watch Ross ride his sled, like when you're jumping, I remember a shot from one of your recent films, you're like jumping through the trees and you're like, you're like doing moto stuff on a sled.
Yeah,
on a 400-pound snowmobile, like in the trees. Like
it's a mountain biking in you.
Yeah, it's a mountain bike.
That's rad.
Yep. That's why I'm so bad at the hard stuff on my moto.
Yeah.
I'm quick in the certain stuff, and then I'm like, oh, I got to go up that. Can I come down on a mountain bike, please? And so I think too, it's just like the cool part about where I live in the summer is the mountain biking and the bike park is like you roll up and it's like, oh, what's up, Carson? Red Bull helmet on. He's like, you chasing me all day? I'm like, guess so. And you're just like trying to keep up with like true goats in their aspect. But I think it's a feeling thing for me. It's just like, I want to like replicate the feelings that I get. Doing those different things. And I talked to Bergmark and I had a really cool conversation about it because he's a psycho and like he's so good at what he does. But if I go do a backflip on my snowmobile, nothing's changing in my life. Yeah. Like I'm not making any
just
more
a
money.
Bucket list item for yourself.
Yeah, it's like if I really have the drive to, and I'm like I get nervous, I get scared on that stuff it's I guess I have like, that's where my limit is. I don't have that gear of like, I want it so bad. Yeah. I'm like, I don't know. I don't want to I just don't have that perfect drive to do it. Where Bergmark's brand is built around it and he lives for it. He's like, what is the next progression and push and level to do? I would much rather just be like, what's the story around that for him? Right. But he has his team in Sweden that's really, really good. So,
yeah. I have no issue admitting that I got to get out of that headspace on the bike because I'll get in something that's nasty, have a good time, get beat down in it, tired, all this stuff, and then just go to sled mode of, man, I look at this terrain and get frustrated because you can't get up on a bike, and I know how to navigate it on a sled, and that's my comfort zone is like, all right, this is second nature now. Muscle memory kicks in, know the correct technique, know how to not use unnecessary energy, and the bike's not there yet. So sometimes I just straight up lose motivation for it, which is just a personal battle. Yeah. And I'm aware of it. Yeah. So then I just almost pull myself out of the game and I'm like, screw this, whatever. I'm just having fun riding it. Like today, not progressing, just going to have some fun. Rather on the sled, it's like, oh, we're going to go up that at Mach 90. It gets gnarly at the top right there, but there's a line out of it. And it's not even like, don't even bat an eye at it. You're like, yep, we're going to try that.
Yep. And that's something that I talked about in my first video is that the series that we did is like I obsess over the little things of like, how do you make this look good, or like what do you have to do to, you know, accomplish this or get up this and navigate that. And I think that has also translated into my media creation of like, dude, you edit an Instagram reel for like 2 hours just trying to get like the things right. And I think that's how you get better, but also you can waste a lot of time there too, because sometimes it's not as important as you feel it is, but it's all a personal thing. And then you see Keith and Sam go and you're like, whoa, it's really cool to see them so high, so proficient on both. Yeah. They're so good and talented. And they're just, you know, different beasts at it, which is, I love to see it.
Tristan kind of lights that fire back under me though, because his progression in the last 12 months on both a bike and a sled have been awesome. He was terrible on both a year ago.
That's also because I'm new. Like Ross was saying, it's easy to get better when you're new. I'm not quite there yet, but eventually I'll hit that wall of like, I'll get to a point where I'm pretty good at both, and then it's going to be really hard to keep pushing that progression.
That's the battle I feel right now on the bike, because I'm comfy on it right now, but I still want to do more. But it's like, I just got to figure out how to work through it still.
Yep.
Yeah, but your progression has been awesome to watch. Yeah. When we rode sleds a few weeks ago even, I was like, dude, this is rad. I was stoked for you because I could just see it in your eyes. Like, this is becoming not easy, but you can manage the terrain.
More efficient and less mistakes, less stucks. But it's also easy to look good when you start out bad.
You just start, and Tristan too. If he's filming you, and let's say he's filming you or me, and one of us is with him not riding, and we like lax for like 2 minutes, he's like, what is he doing? He's just like, what the heck is going on? Get in, go. Like,
try harder.
Yeah, which is great because you want that, like that push and that fire. And that's something that I've like, my new favorite saying is the worst part about growing up is you watch your friends get lame and lame. They literally are like boring to be around, and then they're like lame old horses. And you're like, dude, we were just doing this last year, and now you're 30 years old. You can still do this. We got like 15 more years in us if you keep going.
You got to keep up on things. Yeah. It's once you hit that age, maybe not 30 is probably not that age, because
I want to hear his perspective on this from a 23-year-old.
As you get older, it's a lot easier for it to completely fall off.
Yep. Oh, 100%.
Because if I stop dirt biking for 2 years and then pick it up again, I'll probably be okay. I mean, I won't have the same skill set, but I'll be faster on getting it back if I was 35 or older.
Yep. Oh, 100%. You see the guys in the 50-plus class on the bikes.
Dude, some of them are ripping this week.
Past me, bro.
There was a guy in 50-plus that made to the main yesterday.
Yeah.
And he was like a contender in A.
Yeah, he was on a beta.
Yeah, that guy.
I could just see the silver.
Yeah,
we talked about that in the creek.
Like, dude,
the wrinkles, he was. Yeah, he was definitely all of 50-plus.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, and shredding.
And that's also why if you keep doing it, you get better. You don't understand where you're getting better, but you're just gaining experience.
Just getting efficient.
Yeah. And that's what I try to explain to the high school kids I work with in the outdoor thing. Is I'm like, nature will mimic itself. It will never replicate itself. So the more reps you get, then you're like, oh, like snowmobiling, for example, I've never seen this wind lip, but I've seen 100 other wind lips that have similar features. Therefore, I've seen this wind lip before. Because it's like, the more you see, it will always kind of replicate itself in a way. Same thing on a moto. Like, we talked to Steve, Uncle Steve, like he walked us through part of the course, and he's like, oh yeah, put your front tire here, go this way, that, right? And he's been doing it for so long that he's like, he knows. He looks at a stump different than I do.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I'll go left or right. He's like, bank the wheel off this, you know?
I'll do these things over the years. I can remember a handful. I'm not going to go into specifics of it, but to keep yourself in check, more of like a personal pump up. if you have those days or weeks where you feel like you haven't done any progressing, here's something at this place we ride bikes at in town here 3 years ago or something that kicked my ass. And I'll like remember that day and be like, dude, I could not get up that. And now fast forward 3 years later and I've gone up it 50 times. And like keep these little benchmarks, these days where some terrain, some feature has been the end of you. And then you look back at it 3 years later and you've gone up a million things just like that, including the one that kicked your ass. And that always kind of like grounds you and goes, okay, I am figuring this out. I am progressing, but I try to remember those little things along the way. I remember some stuff in Revy the first time I was there I was shitting bricks. Like, you know, when you can hear your heart pounding in your head, like so high in adrenaline. And I've gone down that same thing that did that 7-8 years ago and was like chill. I think I was like readjusting my goggle strap and engine braking and like not even paying attention to what it was.
Yeah.
But trying to remember those moments where you were like peak adrenaline or getting beaten down, and then a few years later either being right back in the same spot or in an identical scenario. And
yeah, I got that coming right up for me.
It's pretty
I've
cool.
I had one on the bike and I succeeded it, pack saddle.
Yeah, totally.
That's a perfect example. But now when I go back to Revelstoke, that'll be my next one.
Pack saddle's one of them for the bike for me too.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, I still struggled the second year a lot, but we made it to the top.
Yeah, we gotta do that again.
Yeah, that's a fun one.
I'm excited to ride it with you again, Ross, because you saw my hard enduro debut.
Yeah, we were putting JB Weld in your radiator.
Yep.
And you got hurt last time. Remember you fell into that tree, that uprooted tree? You got your foot stuck on something?
Like,
I think you jacked your wrist up a little bit.
My boot buckle got caught on my peg and I low-sided myself in between a log and a...
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been having that happen a lot lately.
I know.
I catch my feet all the time.
Yeah, my pegs have been really like grabbing me a lot lately. More a personal problem.
Yeah, more of a personal issue.
If we just learn to keep our feet on the pegs, they probably won't grab them as much.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
I think too, well, then we're going to go race silver and just get absolutely bodied again. But yeah, that's also one that's like, not only does that more so doesn't, it tests your skill. Like you're going to do things on a bike that you have never done. Or,
you don't practice.
Yeah.
You're forced.
Yeah. By force.
And then you're going to do them for 6 hours straight.
Yeah.
So there's a whole
trial by fire.
There's a whole nother thing that comes into the equation on it there.
And I think that's why silver. So like this last weekend's race, when I started having to do laps on the same course and use fast stuff, I started to lose interest because silver takes me back to the days of coming from Minnesota, starting to do this stuff and riding with you guys and having to just go. Like I learned so much when I had no other option besides go. You guys are there for me to take a time. You don't want you to be pulling my ski and slowing down the day because I'm the filmer. And I think that's why I love those races like silver where the unknown. It's not we're going to ride this section again in another hour. It's one and done, on to the next thing, what's around the next corner. And that's why that one fires me up every year. Even if I don't do well in it, it's just kind of the unknown of it.
Every corner is a blind one.
Yeah.
And it's hard the whole time.
Yeah.
Yep.
I haven't raced silver, so I don't know that blind corner. I mean, I know the blind corner theory in the sled world, but not the bike world yet. But I like lap, like enduro races, because I do one lap and I can progress the second one and the third and just get better and better and see how hard I can push myself. So I really like them. That could just be a bike thing, because say you go up a hill on a sled and you don't make it, you get stuck or something, which is rare, but you're going to go right back down and you're going to try it again and you're going to love it.
Yeah.
So I think it might just be you.
For sure. I got a lot of problems, man.
A lot of problems.
I'm a 3 points of contact kind of guy.
Hey, if both my legs leave the pegs, I'm pissed.
And usually not saving it.
Yeah, I'm usually going down with the ship. No, but what was crazy is we watched the Letton Buckler's. He did the perfect season in the hard enduro last year, and we watched him just. His pit stop was insane.
Yeah.
He literally pulls off, grabs goggles off his mechanic. So I'm pretty sure that dude put food in his mouth.
I did see something.
Yeah. He either put his water in his mouth, or he put like a gel in his mouth. And then there's a guy fueling, and then he's like 6th gear, just da-da-da. And
how synchronized they were, I think this was planned. The guy that opened the fuel cap had the goggles on his head for him.
Mm-hmm.
And when he bent over forward to do the fuel cap is when Manny grabbed the goggles. They like practice. Hey, when I reach for the fuel cap, that's your chance. My head's right there. Grab the goggles.
Yeah.
Did you notice how he had 2 goggles on his head?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I think they were different tints.
I think so.
Yep.
Manny grabbed.
He grabbed one, looked at it, threw it away, grabbed the other one, put those ones on.
Yeah, that was sweet.
It's just efficiency at its finest.
It's crazy because it's like those guys do 6-hour races and they treat a pit stop like that. Because it's like, it's like Billy or Johnny Walker, like all these other guys are, they're not far behind. So yeah, in 6 hours, 30 seconds could be the difference.
Meanwhile, I'm going back to our campsite and trying to find a spare bike, but somebody else already took that one.
Yeah.
Well, we got to hit on that yet.
Yeah, we went through, let's see, Ross's, was it prologue or was it Saturday that you put your brake pedal through your case?
I cracked the case on Friday.
Yep, prologue.
And then we putty sealed it up.
Yeah. And it made it through Saturday. And then Sunday I did it again because I don't know how to go through rocks.
And then, I came back and I just saw an empty bottle of oil sitting on the ground. Yep. So you must have swung in at some point, filled it up.
Swung in, checked my oil bolt to see how much oil was in it. It still had oil in it, so I was like, okay, I'm not out. So I just put a splash in to race 2 more laps. But I also pushed my shifter lever into my case. And I was out there with Steve, and he got a stick and tried to bend it out, but it would I could shift up, and it would get stuck on the case. Mm-hmm. So I couldn't do, and then if I did click it down, it would shift down. So yeah, I swapped one of those out, and and then I was literally braking on like one little nub because the brake lever was like all the way in underneath the case.
Gosh,
very hard on motorcycles.
Yeah,
it's those rocks.
Yeah, because that's what got me. And then Saturday, the funniest part about it was Steve told me the day before, you should put a cotter pin on these pins in the rear caliper for the pads. He's like, those come out sometimes and shear off. And we were all like, never seen that. Mm-hmm. Fast forward 24 hours, I clip a rock hard. And I'm like, man, my brakes feel weird. Start running a lap, and I'm like, dude, I see Tristan, and I'm like, I don't really have any brakes. And I start kicking the lever, thinking something's just
stomping the lever. I'm like, do you need me to bend it out? Like, what's going on?
Yeah. I saw you out of the corner of my eye right when I pulled away, like you were running up to check. Yeah. And then I go around another lap, and it's like getting worse. And I think there was one. It doesn't really make sense. I don't know if there was one pad still holding on, because if the pin was hanging out, it would have been in the spokes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So but one might have been wedged in there still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With the pressure, because the piston was pushing against the rotor there. Mm-hmm. And it finally shot out, and then it went, and I was stopping, but also not stopping. And I look back and gone, completely gone.
Both pads.
So I run back to the pit there. I'm like, I'm going to grab Tristan's bike.
Right.
Get there, and it's not there. Like,
well, because
you came back
filming.
On,
so I was running around the course filming on my bike, and
I was trying to call him.
Yeah. And I answer, I'm like, no service, North Idaho. Well, Taylor, one of our good buddies that was racing, he gets up to me and he's like, man, my clutch is fried. Like, 40 hours on this bike and it's done. I was like, well, Taylor, my bike's at the bottom of the hill. Go down there, take that all day with your bike. When you get back to the lap, like, ask him if it's okay to switch bikes, because we didn't know.
Yeah.
So he's like, I had to kind of talk him into it, because he didn't. He's like, man, I don't want to wreck your bike. I'm like, dude, you're not going to do anything to this motorcycle that I haven't. Like, go race it.
Yeah.
So he gets my bike, and as soon as he passes me, I head down. I get on his bike, and I bring it back to camp, just because I didn't want it to be out in the course. I wanted him to be able to get his bike back if he needed it. and I roll in, and David's there. I'm like, what are you doing here?
Drinking a beer.
And he's like, where's your bike? I'm like, Taylor just took it. Like, his clutch is fried. I was like, what's wrong with your bike? And then we got in the whole brake deal. And we had another spare bike there that was ready to go. And I'm like, leave your bike. Don't change the brakes. Like, just get on that one and go. Because that's what Taylor just did. Yeah. So we're like putting duct tape together, making numbers and slapping them over there. I was like,
then I go to jump on it, and the levers are like in the air the way it was set up. And the E-start was over from the handguard, over on the other side of the brake lever. I literally couldn't reach it. I was like, if I'm in anything technical, install this thing, I'm going to like fall over trying to get this. Right. So I was like, all right, I'm going to burn 10 minutes here. I got to change this. So change that up and go out. And then we finally communicate all this. Yeah. See Taylor. And then
while David is adjusting his levers, I'm making another set of duct tape numbers for Taylor. And I was like, made sure David was good. And then I ran down the road. So now I don't have a bike. I got to film this hard enduro race with no dirt bike.
He's film crew and pit crew.
And pit crew. So I'm sprinting around this course in, Tech 7s. And I see Taylor stop him, slap numbers on the bike, and he goes, I was like, did they let you race the bike? And he's like, yep, they said all good. Just let the checkpoints know. And so I was like, okay, sweet. So David will be good to go. And he ended up doing one lap on my bike before breaking the shift lever. So now he's down 2 bikes in one race, hops on Steve's bike. So it took him
3 bikes, 4 laps.
3 bikes, 4 laps, but he still qualified for Sunday, which was a stretch.
I think because he only did 4 laps.
Yeah,
I think all the pros qualified though.
Oh yeah.
I think they qualified.
So he must have been just racing for gate or
which they didn't do either.
Yeah,
I would have been good if I got one more lap in.
Yeah,
because every single guy did like 4.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
except for Colton. I suppose he wasn't there
on Saturday. I did more than 4 on Saturday.
That's just every guy did at least 4.
Oh yeah. And a lot of guys didn't finish.
I was going through every checkpoint, and I'm like, 545. I switched bikes, and like let them all know, and they're like, "Thank you."
Yeah.
I was at one of the checkpoints, and I was somehow talking to the lady, and she's like, "You don't happen to be with the guys that are switching bikes, are you?" I'm like, "Yeah, 545 and 724. Yeah, that's them.
That's those idiots.
They should be good now."
Yeah.
Oh man.
As annoying as that course was, especially take the dust out of the equation, Sunday is a pretty fun course. I think that would be a really fun course just to go like ride.
Like go back now.
Just go back and do laps for like 5 hours on it.
Yeah.
And just, because it had a lot of good stuff to practice.
I thought about that. We could go back there and I think that place is just open on weekends, and I don't know how it works.
I'd be down to do that.
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's just like an ORV park for trucks primarily, and I'm not sure. I had to look up like a website.
We should look into that. It'd be because we can camp there too.
Yeah.
Be just like recreating it without the race.
Yeah, without any pressure.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Without a number 10 Husky Rockstar helmet just in my tailpipe every lap. I'm like, he's here again?
Yeah. Every time I saw Ross, Colton Haker was either right in front of him or right behind him about to pass him.
We were battling.
We could edit it that way.
Yeah, I think that would be awesome.
We should make an Instagram reel.
Dude, you should edit it that way. And then at the end of the video, it says, Colton Haker did 12 laps. Ross did 6. You do the math.
I have a clip of you, and you're like, was it your first lap or second lap? You're like, 2 laps in and Haker's passed me twice, or 1 lap in and Haker's passed me twice.
Yeah.
We'll probably have to leave that one out.
No, I almost finished 1 lap, and at the top, what do they call that?
Razorback Ridge.
Yeah, Razorback Ridge. The first lap was like, you like drop 2 benches, and out of the last climb, you come up the first bench and then go up the second bench. That stuff was fine, but out of the second bench at the very top, you switched back, and it was like a 30-degree slope that was like 2 feet wide with 2 roots running down it. Mm-hmm. And then below that was like a 15-foot cut bank. And all of us are like, I'm literally like walking my bike, pushing. Keith got hung up there for a second. And then I get to the top of it and I look behind and here comes Curtis and Haker battling. And I'm like, I just did a lap. Like I was like, I can't believe they are, because that means I was like top 5 in A class. So not only did they pass me, but they passed every other A rider on that lap, which is pretty impressive.
It's so cool standing in a spot like that, because I filmed there for a while, watching like the A guys come through there, and they did pretty good. But then you see like Haker come up, and it's like nothing for him.
Dude, it looks like a casual Sunday cruise.
Yeah.
You look at him and you go, "Oh, that's easy."
Yeah.
And then somebody comes through like us, and it's just and you're pedaling with your feet to get up this thing, and he's cool, calm, and collected, standing up.
Yeah.
Tiger's not even spinning.
Dude.
But I mean, flip the script, man. We see that same thing in the backcountry all the time.
Yeah,
you go help your buddy who like is buried in this drainage, and you just pop right up, park right next to him. And you'll be in those scenarios where your buddy's like, how the hell did you do that? And you didn't even think twice on it.
Yeah.
They're
sweating bullets and you're just like, I'm good.
You just came up to him, set it in the ski, lodged it into the hillside, give him a pull. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Hey,
I do. Yeah. I mean,
that dude, he doesn't even have to wash his pants after that race.
No.
He's like, that's good for another ride. Like, don't think he broke a sweat. Yeah.
He was just keeping this pace that was never looked like it changed.
Yeah.
From lap 1 to the final lap. Because I ran around with a camera and found Steve, who had my other camera, and shooting phone videos for like social media stuff for the 519 page. And I kept watching Colton go by, and it was just like, he just took the whole shot type of feel.
Yeah.
He was just still going, same pace.
Speaking of whole shot, they started him backwards on Sunday, and I watched that. I don't think that affected him at all.
No. On the first lap, he was way back there. And I was like, oh, he's going to have to do some work. Second lap, he comes around and he's behind Keith, who's leading. I was like, what the hell happened?
Yeah. Yep. He was with Keith when they passed me first go. And Keith and I had a talk. As Keith went by, I almost pulled out into the track and got in front of Haker. Blocked him out. But I was like, no. And then I'm stuck in the rocks one lap, and here comes Keith, and I'm right in his line. I'm like, sorry, bro. I know I was supposed to block Haker, but I'm blocking you right now because I suck.
How fast those guys, the pros, can adapt is pretty awesome. Because, we roll up to things like that. We have one line. We're like, this is the only line that I can do. And if we roll up and somebody's in it,
just wait.
We just have to wait. Because like we're going to crack our case if we try and go around them.
Yep.
But then they'll just like carry their front tire all the way through it.
Yeah, that's just like our sport is I see 7 lines and a beginner sees 1.
Yeah. Right.
And so they see every option and we only see a few. But I think that's like, if you're just a snowmobiler that's who's listening to this. If you're just a snowmobiler and don't do anything else, you need to go watch other action sports and like digest them and like try to become a fan of them, because the crossover is so crazy.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much crossover and so many similarities. And instead of being depressed all summer, go fall in love with something else.
Yeah.
Even if you don't do it, try to become a fan.
Yeah.
Because it just makes stuff so much more enjoyable. And and then you start to see these like similarities and these styles and everything. Then
I mean, right now is the time. Time is now. The FIM World Hard Enduro Championship just fired up this last weekend. The U.S. Hard Enduro Championship fired up a couple weeks ago, month ago.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of, if you want to check that stuff out. And then outdoor motocross fires up here in June.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of cool different forms of racing there. And then downhill world. You got all that stuff firing up. So and majority of that stuff is such a big scale. There's tons of live streams on it, and
and some of the live streams are great. Like Red Bull TV does a great job on all their big events, and and then like snow, like natural selection is like the sickest competition on snow. It's insane.
That is so well done. That's a cool one because a lot of people in the office here will watch it too. Mm-hmm. So you'll like run around when that's going on, and you'll see it on like 4 different computers, and you'll stop and see, I got to check this run out. And that is just so cool to see how those guys attack that mountain.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's very, very, very cool. And all those guys are sledders, and they're fans of snowmobilers. Because it's funny. They've called me before, some of them, and they're like, we need a sled lord to come on this trip. We need you to like help. They want me to like put like lines in to zones and stuff, and
build 2 tracks in.
Yeah. No,
That would be sweet.
it's awesome.
It's been a pretty good run.
How long have we been live?
Hour and 6 minutes.
Well, we're going for 6 hours. So,
we got any beers?
Hard Enduro podcast.
We need to do one somewhere, like during an event.
Yeah, we can do I want to do a long one too.
There's a camera facing like the endurocross course or something at Silver, and then one facing us, and we're just trying to have a conversation every now and then, reacting like, oh no.
Yeah, we need a mobile one. Mobile set.
That's the thing. This minus all the damn cords, it's only one plug.
Yeah, no,
it powers everything.
Yeah, it's a
fits into a tote. Bring a small generator.
Yeah,
be good.
Okay,
we're not going to do that, but
here's my question: this summer, how are you guys going to set it up so you can call me in?
Like from home?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. We can just
think about it.
Like the actual.
I mean, I don't know what kind of cord it's going to take, but I'm sure we could figure it out.
Well, how many miles away are you? How big of a cord do we need?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, you can jack me in through this USB-C right here.
Yeah, and the computer.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, and you got your mic.
I got a good setup. I'm going to be a streamer.
Yeah.
That's my next profession.
We can have a reoccurring Roscoe. See, that's why I want to do that with you, because you actually it's not going to be just your built-in Mac microphone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That ruins it. We've never had anybody call in because we like this consistency.
Yeah. And that's something that's one of my biggest gripes with all of our snowmobile friends is you guys obviously missed computer class every day. I'm like, can you get on a Zoom? They're like, what?
Yeah.
I'm like, dude.
FaceTime me on my iPhone.
Yeah. I'm like, so unfortunately.
Hold on, Blaine once called me and he got a Mac.
Yeah.
And he downloaded a song, he didn't know where it went.
Yeah.
I had to tell him where the downloads were.
My favorite, since I'm known as someone who knows how to edit video, is they will call me and ask me a very specific question. And I'm like, have you heard of YouTube?
Yeah.
Hey, guys, YouTube it. Colton Sturm.
Yeah, we don't actually want to talk to you.
Yeah, dude's like, no. Colton will text me about an app on his phone I don't even have. He'll be like, how do I do this on this app? I'm like,
CapCut.
I'm like, do you think I have every app on my phone in the world?
For some reason, I specifically remember hearing that from you. Like right when I first started hanging around you guys, you're like, you weren't saying it to me, but you're like, don't call me with a question. And I'm like, don't call Ross with a question. Like wrote that down.
Yeah. I would much rather talk about like, hey, how did you cut this together? Or not like, don't talk to me about
what button do I hit?
Yeah. There's some nerd in Iowa that makes a living making those videos.
Dude, Adobe in a minute taught me everything I need to know.
University of YouTube, baby.
Yeah, you don't need to go to school for anything nowadays.
No. Yeah, you hear that first. You don't need to go to school for anything.
Nope.
I mean, get through high school, but
yeah. But unless you're going to be a doctor or lawyer or engineer, dude.
Make sure you're at least literate.
Yeah.
But all right, guys, song of the week time. We're going to keep it going.
Yep.
There's quite a few people.
Second week.
Yeah, there's quite a few people stoked on it last time. Let me pull up some comments.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because they have horrible music taste. I can't find any music.
It's just trending TikTok sounds.
Yeah.
Hold on here.
Don't you just hit one of these buttons there, big dog?
Yeah, but I'm just looking up the comments.
We wanted to bring in one song from the guests.
Oh,
Scott Iyer chimed in.
This will be good.
Mark, how do you say it? Rebay? The guy DJs on the streets.
Yeah, yeah.
He just said anything by him, which I agree with. He has a vibe, but you can't just, you have to watch one of those videos. You can't just play a sample of it.
Yeah. You don't listen to him for his music. You listen to him for his personality and but his music bangs too. I mean, he's extremely talented.
And somebody asked, can we get the link to the playlist?
Tristan fired.
No. It's on the 509 Spotify account if you find the user, but it's not a premium account.
No, I tried looking for 509 and I couldn't get it.
Okay, we're going to work on that.
Yeah.
At this point, should I just make it on my personal one?
Well,
because it's not a premium account, so
it
you
just
can't.
popped up on my Spotify because I have premium. You can like link 2 accounts together, so I think we do need to look into that.
Okay, we're working on it.
We'll get that figured out.
It'll be in the caption or the description of this video when it's uploaded. At the moment, we don't really know how. It lives out there somewhere in Spotify world. Locating it, a little troublesome at the moment.
If I find it, everybody's in trouble.
What else? Somebody said all music from Volume 7. Amazed my DVD still worked after basically on repeat for 11 years. Listen to the Spotify playlist weekly. So this guy has found the Spotify playlist.
The one we're talking about?
The 509 one, yeah.
Oh, well, I think somebody else made that one because there's a 7 to something playlist on there.
I like this one. Limp Bizkit is where it's at. Also, hot take. You can hard enduro a 4-stroke. Anyone who says otherwise needs to get good.
I did see that one.
That's a hot take. I mean, yeah, if your name's Billy Bolt.
Yeah.
And guess what? We looked at your account. You're not him, bro.
It's probably Spencer Wilton with a burner account.
What else do we got?
Anybody who says you can't ride a 4-stroke sled in the technical trees needs to get good.
We appreciate your comment.
Yeah, we do.
With that, let's see. Last week we had a little bit of hip hop vibes. I went back to my roots of a little bit of metal, switched it up big time, throwing a curveball. I think the song's American Gothic by Steven.
The title doesn't sound like the song.
American Gothic?
Yeah.
That's the song, yeah. By Steven, what is his name? Something Jr.
Clark.
Not Stephen Clark. You didn't know Stephen Clark's actually a big musician?
I've heard him sing a couple times.
Stephen Wilson Jr. I don't know why. The song just kind of does it for me. Here's my 15-second clip. I'm looking for a Roscoe review on it. That just does it for me.
I like that.
Okay.
It's approved. It's approved.
Cue up the full song for you later.
Do they have country music in Oregon?
Dude. Yeah. As long as you live on the east side of the Cascade Mountains. For 99% of viewers who listen to this podcast, they think that I live in Portland, Oregon. They're like, oh, Oregon. Oh, Portland? I'm like, dude, that's 4 hours away over an 11,000 foot mountain.
Dude, you're preaching to the choir here. Oh, you're in Washington? Like Seattle? Literally can look outside right now and see Idaho.
Yeah.
The mountains we look at are Idaho. We are 5 hours from Seattle.
Yeah.
We are as far away as you could possibly be in the state from Seattle.
Yeah.
Thank goodness.
Yeah. Oh, I'm from Florida. Oh, Miami?
Yeah.
Hey, shut up.
From Tennessee. Oh, Nashville.
Yeah. Oh, Nashville. You must live in Nashville.
Except for when you do that from Minnesota, everyone's like, "Oh, Minneapolis? Kind of.
Yeah,
Pretty close."
Yeah, surrounding area.
Yeah.
Same thing. I don't know. I was on a little bit of a country kick this week for some reason. I don't know what influences the change week to week in what's the go-to playlist.
Summer influences more country for me.
You think?
I like the summer country vibes for me, anyways. Yeah,
I don't think it's seasonal
because it's the light at the end of a long snowmobile season.
Yeah. I understand where it's coming from. Mine is so sporadic.
Yeah. I think that's it too.
Mine's, you know what mine is? Do you have daily mixes? You ever listen to those on Spotify? Yeah. And they're like, I have like 6 different categories of daily mixes. So I'll just start thumbing through those, and one of them will go on repeat for a couple days. And
are they ridiculous names?
No, they're just called daily mix.
And daily mix 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah. And then the photo of it will be a genre or a band you recognize. You can just tell by looking at it, like, okay, this is a metal band. There's a bunch of guys tattooed on the thumbnail for it.
Yep. David McKinney music right there.
Yeah. Yeah, that's my jam for the week. I think Tristan's is next.
I think
Tristan picked a classic.
Yep.
Were you here when we picked Tristan's?
No.
I heard it on the way in. I was like, yep, this is it.
But wait, hold on. Listen, these are the day lists for my girlfriend. They are like have these ridiculous names for her.
Oh, yeah. I know what you're talking about that one. Yeah.
This is one. Anti-Depression Midwest Emo Sunday Afternoon. That's the one that she gets. Also, like,
isn't she from Iowa too, or Illinois?
She's from Illinois. Yeah. Absolutely ridiculous name. She just screenshots and sends them to me.
It sounds like a very delicious smoothie from the local smoothie shop.
Anti-depression. I'm depressed. I just need a smoothie. I'll be okay.
You last winter in that video.
Yeah.
Had a little bit of seasonal depression there for a minute, but that went away.
Yeah. Dude, it rained for 4 months in a row. I was like, I'm out.
That's what happens in Portland.
Yeah, that's what happens when you live in Portland, Ross.
All right. Tristan with the classic.
Yep, hit it.
Has it been on repeat? Or was it just today?
No, I heard it today. Not on repeat, but I knew it was the one.
You ready for this one, Ross?
Classic.
Mm-hmm.
Great song.
Mm-hmm. When did that song come out?
I don't know.
Like 07.
I feel like earlier than that.
I'd have to look.
Who is that?
I can't remember the name, but
Franz
it's
Ferdinand, Take Me Out.
Take Me Out.
Oh.
Like, you're going to take me out to lunch later, right after this.
Let's see. Franz Ferdinand.
You're going to take me out to lunch later.
We'll both drive separate, but maybe I'll buy
2004. 20 years ago.
He was 4 years old.
I was 4 years old.
Dang. That's rough.
Wow.
A little bit of a change. You did, what did you have last week? Hip hop and, oh no, you had that
I had
that
hip-hop
gob song,
and,
little skater punk song.
yeah.
Easy there, Roscoe.
I like to switch it up.
Ross's is, I'm going to listen to this one in the truck.
New music influence, Roscoe. Here we go.
Inspiration behind this one? Is this a repeat track for you? Or
Yeah, this I've heard this one a lot. Yeah.
You know I came to rip the scene apart. My whole life is a piece of art. And this is just a brush stroke. I made it in the biz, they said.
Is that Mike Posner's voice right there?
Yeah.
Because he sounds so much like old Lil Wayne right there.
Yeah.
Like early days Wayne.
Yeah. Posner, his career path is actually insane. He's like such a cool like study as far as like what he's done. And then, because he obviously had the Ibiza song that went like mega. Mm-hmm. And that almost like, I don't know, it'd be interesting how he feels about that song. It obviously made him a lot of money, but also it's like not who
he is at
all. And so like his new music, when you're like, oh, it's Posner, they're like, oh, what? This is like...
The man walked across America.
Yeah.
Summited a bajillion 14ers.
Yeah.
Did Everest.
Yeah. In this song, he made this album after he walked across America. He goes, I might just climb Everest, you never know.
And
then he did it. Yeah.
I didn't know any of that.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So he wore Ignite goggles for numerous of his 14ers.
Oh, yeah.
And I was messaging him on 509 like 4 years ago.
Yeah.
This great story.
Yeah.
About a month ago, was just kicking myself. Like, so pissed. I was going through 509 messages, just checking old stuff, scrolling way back. I don't even know, let's look for any blue check marks that pop up. Just curious. Because the reality is when you're one of the biggest brands in snow, there's a shot somebody you would never think is interested in trying to ride snowmobiles, and they might shoot this brand a message.
Mm-hmm.
And I had chatted with Mike Posner on there a bit, got his address, sent him these Ignite goggles because he was just sick of... He posted a video, summited something, and he was just iced over. And I was like, dude, this guy should get some Ignites. Shot in the dark that he'd reply. You know, I don't know how many millions of followers he has. So send them to him. They show up in a video. He's wearing them. I'm like, this is so cool.
That's
like,
cool.
It doesn't matter. Like, there's no market crossover. It's just a cool thing.
Yeah.
I then see 3 years later, like a month ago, he had sent a follow-up message that I missed saying how much he loved them and was looking for some more lenses so he didn't have to carry an extra because he was trying to get the least amount of weight.
Yeah.
And I'm like, damn it.
Oh,
Did you
he
hit him
just
up?
go to Everest?
I replied to him again. No, but like I noticed this message a month ago that was from 3 years ago.
Oh.
Yeah. And I
Yikes.
just didn't see it.
Wow.
Because we must have.
You suck.
I think the time frame was like right around Black Friday, so we must have had 1 million stories and tags from some event where it
Yeah.
just got filtered down into.
Dang.
I mean, there's like 40 messages a day on that account. And
Yeah,
then
yeah.
you add an event like Black Friday here, and there's like hundreds over a weekend
Yeah.
of tags, and it must have just because it was like November, it was like right around Thanksgiving. So
Right.
I think we just got lost in the messages.
Did you hit him back?
I did some messages like, dude, I am so sorry that we missed this. Yeah, if you have any
Dang.
interest still, more than happy to help you out.
Whatever you need, bro.
It's like I actually was like, we got a new version now. It's got this built-in game, like
Mhm.
some cliff notes on it. So we'll see.
Yeah. He also has written songs for he's written mega songs.
Yeah. Isn't that funny? You never would think who writes some songs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure, I could be wrong on this. I'm pretty sure an early Taylor Swift song, I remember seeing this in an interview somewhere, was written by Tim Armstrong of the punk band Rancid.
Yeah.
I might be mixing it up with somebody else, but I'm pretty sure that was it. Like, that guy's just a lyrical genius, and
Yeah.
he's his own little dirtball legendary punk, but
Yeah.
people have acknowledged that he is very, very good songwriter.
Music is one of those things where you can have, I think, multiple lanes, because you see these artists who are top of their game in one genre, they switch, they're also really good at that,
Yeah.
and that's kind of cool to see.
Yeah.
Post Malone's a pretty good example
Yeah.
of that
Yeah. Especially as
as far as mainstream
Yeah.
goes.
Yeah.
And as a writer, you can write, different genres because, writing music is.
It's cool that they can write songs like that and know oh, this isn't my song, this is her song, she should sing this,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
that's pretty rad.
Yeah.
Or have you heard when somebody changes the genre of a song with the same lyrics
Yeah.
and it totally changes the feel of it?
Uh-huh.
There's this guy on Instagram that does folk covers. Have you seen that?
Yeah. Yeah.
And he did one of what's my age again? Blink-182. Changed the whole tempo of it. The song was sad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Changed the whole tempo, the whole feel of the
It
song.
is, that's, yeah.
And all
That's
it
my
is
age again.
just a melody change and a harmony change and the same
Yeah.
exact lyrics.
Yeah. Who's that? They're more like a punk metal band, and they're doing a full tour, U.S. tour, sold out stadiums, and they're all covers. It's their covers only tour.
Oh, is it like Me First and the Gimme Gimmes?
No,
Because they
it's
do a lot of that. Me First and the Gimme Gimmes has done full albums of Country Roads and
Yeah.
Rich Girl and punk versions of them.
Right.
And then they've done shows just playing that stuff.
Our Last Night. So they're doing a covers only tour in the U.S. And the sick part is they have the whole set list released.
Oh, that's
So
fun.
it's literally what's gonna play. Everybody can know the lyrics.
Yeah.
You can, and and they crush. They do a really good job.
Nice. Let's wrap that up on any fun concerts coming up. I love talking about concerts.
Cage Elephant right after Silver Kings.
Did we get tickets for that?
No, but Cage Elephant's pretty big for me, so I think I'll probably go to that. I think you should come with.
Yeah, it'd be a good one.
I haven't looked. One of the reasons I love where I live is I
You
can
get some good shows.
I can walk to the amphitheater in Bend, and a lot of times it's like I saw Dierks Bentley for $60,
Yeah.
and I was like, I wouldn't go seek out a Dierks concert, but I'm like, oh, he's here on a Thursday night, $60, I'm in.
Yeah.
And so that's what I do. I always just watch it. Sometimes it's ridiculous. Chris Stapleton came to town. It was $400 tickets. I'm like, I'm not going to that. But then I see a lot of really cool shows that, are, and then some of them are all the ones I go to, they always have standing room in the front, but then sometimes they have just chairs, the whole thing. I don't go to any of those.
Yeah.
I like to be up in the front, have a few drinks and have some energy. It's fun.
We get pretty good shows here too. We have a really cool small venue because we're kind of in between Seattle, Portland shows.
Yeah. That's how we are too.
And so we'll get sometimes stadium guys playing
Yeah.
this small venue. I just went to Dropkick Murphys, who have literally performed some of the biggest festivals and stadiums in the world.
Yeah.
And saw them at a capacity of 1,500 or 2,000 people. And it was rad. But they bring the energy of a stadium band to this tiny little venue. And we get stuff like that coming through town all the time.
Yeah.
It's way more intimate and
Yeah.
Just cool. Their craft is so dialed after so many years of playing these massive venues.
Yeah.
And you stick them in something that's kind of like where they came from.
Yeah.
And they bring the exact same energy.
That's how we are. Last summer, they go from Portland down to San Francisco. So they'll stop in Bend. Kenny Chesney played Wednesday, Thursday in Bend. And I go to the gym in the morning. At the gym I work out, it's like this really cool facility. Kenny Chesney's in there working out with the owner of the gym. Yeah. It's like, what the heck is going on? Did you go meet him? Yeah. So just like, they were kind of doing their thing, but he ended up like giving pretty much all of the staff of the gym. They all had like backstage and stuff.
Oh, that's
shit.
right.
Yeah. That's cool.
It's cool when people do that.
Yeah. And the guy who owns the gym is an ex-NFL tight end. So he has kind of some like, he has a name, you know? So guys will want to come see him and stuff. And it's cool. But yeah, all that stuff is really, really fun.
Yeah. I got to take a lap on the internets and see what's coming into town. I've been slacking lately. I love a good show. I love a good like Wednesday night show just for the hell of it.
Yeah.
Like you said, $40.
Yeah.
I'm in.
Exactly.
Half-hour round trip there, back and forth. Yeah.
So are you going to pick songs every episode? Are you going to pull a song from the audience too?
If they give a good one.
If they give a good one.
I'm sorry, Scott Iyer. I wasn't going to play Mark's hour 20 mix.
Scott, can you play his whole set, please?
I mean, we probably could do that on our 6-hour enduro podcast.
Yeah, I'm taking an hour and a half intermission for this Mark Rebel set to play.
10 hours of fire camp crackling noises.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks, Roscoe. It was a
Yep.
good weekend. We will see you in like, I don't know, 6 weeks or something for Silver Mountain Hard Enduro. We're going to have some podcasts between now and then, but that is a reminder that Silver Mountain is June 20. It's throwing me off this year because
27th rings a bell for me.
Yeah,
It's that.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday this year. June 27th, 28th, and 29th in Kellogg, Idaho at Silver Mountain. We are 509, one of the presenting title sponsors. Yes.
You know what we also are? What were we talking about last night?
Oh, I wrote it down.
Yeah.
It's such a good idea.
Yeah, you're like, I have to write that down.
Glad I did because I would have forgot it.
You're going to love this, Tristan.
Yeah.
It's our new
it's our
race
riding
team.
style.
It's our new race team.
We're like the apocalypse, but with sponsors.
That's us. The apocalypse
What?
sponsors.
Just barren wasteland, train wreck, disaster.
Destroy everything,
Apocalypse with
broken
sponsors.
everything, end of the world.
But for some reason, there's some sponsors
Yeah,
involved
but with
on this
sponsors.
loose program.
Sponsor.
Yeah, 519.
No, but we're looking for sponsors.
Actively
Doors open.
looking
Yeah.
for investors.
Yeah.
Like I was like, man, I just cannot believe like Gas or Husky hasn't reached out. We're like
Right.
killing it here.
Literally killing their bikes in the creek.
Yeah.
Well, we will be there. Like I said, we were one of the title presenting sponsors for it, so 509 booth will be there. It's a fun, spectator event. Friday is going to be a real good day for viewing, and Saturday, so I'm going to keep plugging that until it comes up. Ross will be racing. Jay Manterbury will be racing.
We think.
Spencer Wilton in pro class holding it down for the team. Tristan will be
I'm
racing.
racing.
Who else? I mean, we got a bunch of other.
Drew Henley's racing.
Local boy here. Ty,
Yep.
you guys have seen Ty in here before. He is global sales, international sales manager, 509, also an avid dirt bike racer, which is super cool for anybody in house here that's getting after it. And yeah, we'll have swag at the booth and it'll be a good time. But
Yep.
in the meantime, thank you all for tuning in. Roscoe, you got anything you want to plug? Anything coming up in your life?
Nope. If you haven't watched either of my episodes, I don't like you. Please watch them.
They are on YouTube channels,
Yep.
just Ross Robinson.
Yep, my YouTube channel, Now or Never, episode 1 and 2. 3 will come out shortly, and then we'll do stuff in the fall. And if you want to buy the new brand is Rowdy Ones. I did have the Mountains Project. That was the old little side hustle, and now we're going to
show off that shirt design. Spin around.
Yeah.
That thing's sweet. Is that now available?
Yeah, this is available.
Alpine Astronauts, Rowdy Ones.
For those days that few of us know when you're in the Alpine and you're like, am I on Mars?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah. We're going to try to slowly...
Is that our website? Is it
yeah, Rowdy Ones with a Z.
.com?
RowdyOnes.com.
Nice.
Yep. So, going to try to build that into something special eventually. We'll see what it goes, which way it goes. I have a lot of ideas, but yeah, it'd be cool to, you know, eventually be able to support projects and create things, and yeah, be there's other brands and other industries that are like, they're like the hype man for that sport. So it's like the Rowdy Ones is like the hype man for what I like to do.
Right.
So yeah,
I like it.
Yep.
Later.
Wait.
Oh,
That memory card just filled up on that camera over there. So if you guys
Nice.
are watching on YouTube, shoot us a comment. I know not many of you guys are on YouTube. Let me know if you guys are okay with it just going on Spotify and Apple, because it's like quadruple the listeners there. And you can watch video on Spotify. But anyways, appreciate all the comments.
wait, no. Do this. Go open another tab on your browser. YouTube 509 Pod. Just hit like. Don't even watch. You don't have to watch the whole video. Just hit the like button. You know.
Pump the algorithm.
And then go over to Ross Robinson's page and just like every video.
Subscribe and unsubscribe a bunch. Make his notifications go off.
Yeah.
If you are listening on Spotify and Apple, every single 5-star review is greatly appreciated. We keep seeing that number go up, and that pushes it out to more listeners and keeps us motivated pumping these out for you. And yeah, check out ride509.com. We just did a LE gear drop from 509 Day. I think there's a little bit of inventory left. It's pretty sweet stuff. And yeah, we'll see you guys next. Thank you for Tristan for joining and being a consistent face here.
You bet.
And Ross for coming back time and time again.
Yep. Shout out to the Redhead boys.
Yeah. All right. Later, boys.